Hi guys, Mark here. Welcome. Over the years, I've encountered as well as demonstrated various ways of doing the two-color conquistador braid. The technique that I'm going to demonstrate today is in my opinion the cleanest, most optimal way of doing the two-color conquistador braid. Let's take a look. Here is our braid up close. As you can see, it is braided cleanly and joined seamlessly at the center. The back side of the braid has a nice looking pattern to it as well. To practice our braid, we're going to need 2 colors of paracord, a buckle, and optionally but highly recommended, a couple of lacing needles. These make the braiding process a lot quicker. To begin with, we're going to attach one of our cords onto the buckle using a series of loops. With our 4 loops established, push the short end through your loops to the bottom. Then tighten up, 1 loop at a time. Grab your other cord, pass it top down under 2 loops, like this. So this is the starting position for our braiding. 2 colors of cords are buckled and an even number of loops. The 2-color conquistador braid is done similarly to the single-color version. The difference is that we're going to fill out half of our loops using 1 color and the remaining half of our loops using the other color. At the center, we use a trick to connect the 2 colors together. We begin on the bottom, filling out our first 2 loops. When traveling from the bottom side up, our loops have the working end passing behind the standing end. So our loops look like this. After 2 loops, we pass our first cord over the second one. We wrap our second cord around. So around our first cord, and we continue our loops. Exactly the same way. We have reached the top. We now reverse direction. First, our top cord, filling out the top 2 loops. When traveling from the top side down, in our loops, the working end passes over the standing one. So our loops are going to look like this. We pass our cord over our first one, like this. We then grab our first cord, wrap it around our second one, then continue our loops. So that's one sequence of going up, then down. Let's do one more for good measure. So we begin on the bottom, filling out the bottom two loops. Remember that when traveling up, our loops have the working end passing behind the standing one. So the loops look like this. We pass our cord over our other one. We wrap our second cord around our first one. Then continue our loops, exactly the same way. With the top two loops done, we reverse direction, starting with the top two loops. Remember, when traveling from the top side down, in our loops, the working end passes on top of the standing one. So the loops look like this. We pass our cord over the first one. We wrap our first cord over the second one and continue our loops. That's the two-color conquistador braid. Easy once you get used to it. So guys, this covers the 2-color conquistador braid. As mentioned, for me this is the cleanest, most optimal way of doing it. It doesn't have any marks at the center indicating how the 2 colors are joined. At the back you have a nice, symmetrical and decorative joint section here. All in all, it looks great and I enjoy learning something new just like you. Thank you for joining me and see ya next time.